Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie. All right, welcome to this issue of ALM Lifestyle Magazine, and the column is Writing Shotgun with Charlie, and I am Charlie Cook, and I go back and I revisit some of my favorite passages that I've had on Writing Shotgun with Charlie, and today we are going to be talking with none other than Lenny Magill from the GLOCK Store. Lenny, how are you doing today?
I am well. I'm in Nashville. It's 93 degrees and sunny skies. Beautiful.
93, and it's like the, early May. Holy moly. How hot does it get in Nashville? I've actually thought about moving down.
There's what's interesting right now, early May, there's not a lot of humidity, so it's actually pretty pleasant. If you're in the shade, it's actually wonderful. And at 6 o'clock tonight, it's going to be 75. It's going to be perfect.
Oh,
so,
awesome.
but in the summer, it gets, it doesn't get much hotter. It just gets a lot more humid.
Right.
So it's a little bit more uncomfortable in the summer months.
Yeah, I hear you. I lived in Nashville for a short while back in 1993.
You should have bought some real estate.
I know, I really should. I didn't have it. Look, I was a musician. I didn't have any money.
That's very interesting. You're right. Yeah, but this town is blown up. It is the most fastest growing city in America right now. How about that?
Oh, it totally is. Everybody wants to get out of the, I hate to say the blue states, but everyone wants to get out of the blue states and go to free America. And it really seems like Nashville and Tennessee's the place to go.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of it. Florida, of course. Texas is getting some of it. Everybody wants to get out of California and get out of New York and get out of Chicago. And, the states are just, going downhill because of the policies inflicted on the people by the government. Yeah. And I say inflicted. They really are doing things that are counterintuitive. Like, why would you do that? So.
Oh my gosh, completely off topic. I saw a. Oh my gosh, I think it's the head of the Department of Transportation in Massachusetts, and she was in Boston, and she was saying that they want to toll people coming into Massachusetts. They want to raise. Right now, we only have one tolls on one road, which runs from the west side of Massachusetts into Boston, and they want to put tolls on the roads from New Hampshire and from Rhode Island and from Connecticut. And they want to toll everything, and they want to tax everything. They want to, they're like, if you've got money, we want to take it from you. And
they have an insatiable appetite for other people's money because they just spend it, and they spend it all, and they spend it unwisely. How's that? So.
Oh my, yeah. How is it that they want us to be responsible financially when they are not responsible financially?
There you go.
Totally.
Exactly.
But that is completely off topic. So let's talk more about the growth of the GLOCK Store. The last time we talked, you just started talking about how you built the range. You built the 360 range, and had that in San Diego, and then obviously since then you've built one and moved over to Nashville. The growth of the GLOCK Store, like it's one of these things that really seems to be steady. Like, I don't want to say slow and steady, but it's like always been there. Since you've been doing these since the late 80s and early 90s. The GLOCK Store's always been around.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've been very fortunate. Obviously, I'm very thankful for our customer base and all the things we do. I'm very I guess I keep my ear to the ground. I shoot still. I still enjoy the process. I have a lot of activity with the shooters and the people in the store, and I always try to see what's new and what's available. And so we have two approaches. One is to carry best of breed from other manufacturers, and two is to manufacture the best of breed for ourselves. So we are making products that we feel will help your shooting, help you be a better, more accurate, safer, more consistent, more competent shooter. and have more confidence in your ability. So there's really, some equipment sides to that. There's also some training to that. So we do some videos on how to shoot. We also do the videos on how to install equipment and what kind of equipment you need. Over the years, we've had these amazing spikes in business that, it's kind of like it gets really busy, and all of a sudden we're up to a new plateau, then it levels off, and we get really busy, and so it's been good. I've been very fortunate. I will say that. So, we started in San Diego and kind of just outgrew that state because of all the rules and regulations and fees and permits and fines, and just, oh my gosh, they really make it difficult. And so we looked around and we found that Tennessee is very, very business friendly, and Nashville, is a destination city within itself.
Oh,
and because of that, it was like, okay, well, gosh, that's a no-brainer. Because we looked at Texas, we looked at Florida, we looked in Atlanta, Georgia, we looked in Nevada, Las Vegas. All those are kind of tax-free states. But Nashville had really that destination city concept. And, I didn't know that the real estate thing was going to go crazy, but it has, and I've been very fortunate with that as well.
Yeah, that really is good. It's I'll tell you what I like about Nashville. I mean, it's fun, it's great. Lower Broadway's all the cool stuff and all the hopping bars and the nightclubs and music all the time. But I think what I really think, like I would love to move myself to Nashville, or at least the Central Tennessee area, because it seems to be closer to everything. You know what I mean?
Well, you are absolutely right. The survey was done by Nissan when they moved out here, that you can drive in one day to, I think it was 70 or 80% of the population of the United States. I mean, it's a crazy number. It's like, really? So you can drive really from here to Chicago, you can drive from here to Boston, and here to New York, here to Baltimore, Washington, all up and down the eastern seaboard, down to Florida, all within really one full day. You can drive to all these major cities, and you're in a great population base. So, for shipping, we do internet shipping, of course. We sell, we process 1,000, 2,000 orders a day, and the shipping times from here versus San Diego, it's a day earlier everywhere. So if we're shipping to New York, it's like 2 days. Mm-hmm. From San Diego, it's 3 to 4 days. So it really makes a lot of sense. So even shipping to California, it's 2 days. So everything seems to be it just seems to be a great spot for us. Now, keep in mind, FedEx, they're a lot smarter than I am. They've got their hub in Memphis. So, this just right down the corner. They do that for a reason, because it's centrally located. They can fly in and fly back out and make everything happen overnight.
Yeah, they totally can. Yeah, Memphis is it's on the west end there of the west side of Tennessee.
It is, and it is. It's a big city. It's got its crime problems.
Sure,
it's a tough place to live. If you're here to live there, so.
Yeah.
But Nashville, the reason I like Nashville, to be quite honest, is there's not all the tax-free stuff, and they run the state very fiscally sound. But I grew up in Pennsylvania around these type of trees and forests and hills, and I really missed that in California. I really did. There's and the water. I've got there's streams running around and lakes and rivers, and it's just it's a very alive place. Lots of wildlife. I mean, I've got turkey in my yard and deer in my yard. We've got a farm, 237 acres that we bought that we shoot on. We do a long range rifle class out there. It's just a great spot for life. It just feels good to live here.
For sure. Do you do any hunting?
I used to hunt when I was a kid. I grew up in Pennsylvania, did a lot of small game, but currently I don't. I just don't have time for it. I have lots of animals out there on the farm. I feed them.
Oh, nice.
We got some very healthy deer and very healthy turkeys, that's for sure. But I'm just not hunting at this time of my life.
Hunting is one of these things that after I became a gun owner, I thought hunting was hunting was what it was. Do you know what I mean? Like a new gun guy, maybe wanted to carry for defense, but I thought hunting was what I was like the next logical progression after getting a gun license. So I went and took a hunter ed class, and I thought I would go hunting, and I would go sit. I had a friend that let me hunt on his property, and I'd sit in the tree stand with a bow and arrow, and I would read a book, and I would drop the book, and I'd be mad at myself because I didn't want to climb down the tree, and then I'd end up taking a nap. I'd drop the book, I'd take a nap, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't have this kind of time to invest into into hunting, because it is a big time commitment for sure.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, our business is really geared towards self-defense, concealed carry, home defense, et cetera, that kind of stuff. That's what we like to do. We feel it's it's the new thing, really. That's what people want to do with a firearm now. Is they're interested in being able to protect themselves and their family and their property, and be prepared, because we know the police can't be there. When someone's beating on your door at 2 a.m, it's just not going to happen. So you got to be prepared. You got to be in a situation where you can take care of yourself and your family, and that's what our business is really built around, as far as self-defense and competition shooting as well. People like to compete with their guns, but mostly I'd say 80% of our business is self-defense.
Yeah, definitely. Do you see? Well, actually, I'm going to talk about this. The whole competition thing. I didn't know that you got your start making all the videos for Bianchi and IPSC. And when the last time we talked, I thought that was really interesting. And actually, some people messaged me and they're like, "Dude, I had no idea that that's how Lenny got his start." And I'm like, "Yeah, this is pretty wild."
Yeah, I actually, got introduced to the shooting sports when I was in San Diego. I was, I think, 21 years old, 22 maybe, and I was selling advertising for a TV station, and one of my customers was a gun range, and he introduced me to John Bianchi, who had a pistol tournament out of Missouri, and he said, "Hey, I want to get it on TV." And I had a relationship with ESPN at that time, which was because I was working at a cable station, and I knew I could buy time on ESPN for like $10,000. At that time, they had like women's volleyball, and they didn't have all the big sports. It was a startup. So I put the thing on TV, and we ran it on ESPN for 15 years. And then the NRA took it over, and Jim Scouten took it over at that point. But so I ran it for 15 years, and during that time, I produced all those instructional videos, as well as I did the Bianchi Cup, I did the Masters, I did the Soldier of Fortune competition, I did USPSA Nationals, I did the Steel Challenge, I did a whole bunch of stuff at the NRA, the High Power Rifle, and all their other competitions. So, I became known as the gun video guy. And it was a lot of fun. I traveled all around the world, all around the country, should I say, and met all the top shooters, and met a lot of people in the industry. We did a lot of industry videos. I did a lot of videos with all the top shooters. It was just a fun time. I don't think I could do it now, because we were on the road a lot. I wasn't married, didn't have kids, that stuff. So I was basically just running around doing videos and enjoying life. And then we were selling the videos all around the world, because there was a worldwide interest in the competition shooting sports, which I had no idea that people in Spain or in Georgia, Germany, or all these other countries had any interest in this shooting sports stuff. But we were sending videos everywhere. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that is great. Do you notice that business picks up during an election year? Because I noticed as an instructor, for me, for the last 7 or 8 months, I've been pretty steady as far as offering classes and teaching classes so that people can get their carry permits. Do you see business picking up a lot, as far as the mail order stuff, or do you see classes picking up at the GLOCK Store?
Well, overall, generally speaking, every election year there is a little bit more action, especially if there's, impending potential of, gun bans or magazine bans or something else happening. And, Joe Biden, of course, he's totally anti-gun, or whoever's behind him is totally anti-gun, because they want to disarm us, because they don't want us to be able to resist all these crazy draconian things they want to do. Right. So, people don't get that. They think, oh, our government wouldn't do that. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, look at history. That's all. We're all human. History repeats itself. Just be aware of the fact that there's a reason they want to disarm you besides saving children. Okay? It's nothing to do with saving children. It's about, being able to control and not having any resistance. And that's one of the challenges that people have to get through their head. So speaking of election years, yes, typically we see an upsurge in business, and I think it's industry-wide, not just me, but everybody across the board.
Right. You guys offer classes at the GLOCK Store, correct? You guys have the indoor range in Nashville, and you got classes, you got everything.
Yeah, the classes are important, and one of the things that we differentiate ourselves with is we do a one-on-one concept. We have some group classes as well, but our claim to fame is the Shoot 270 concept, where we have shoot rooms and we don't shoot down lanes. So you go into a room and, you're basically one-on-one with an instructor, or you go with your couple, maybe two people go, or we've had families, families of 4 or 5 people go in and learn how to shoot one-on-one versus trying to do that in a range environment or a lane environment where, a bunch of people are shooting on the side you don't know. There's all kinds of noise and you're just getting, you can't hear the instructor. You can't, you're distracted, and it's very just intimidating for a lot of people who don't shoot because they're, it's just all this noise and all this action going on, and they can't figure it out. So especially women come in, and the one-on-one thing for them is perfect because women, one, are great students because they listen, and two, they really take instruction well and know how to apply it. And so we've taken ladies who are so intimidated by guns, and really in one session, okay, bang, 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 they got it. 2 sessions, they are tigers, and they're just engaging multiple targets in multiple directions, and they're pounding on the targets, and they're not afraid of the recoil or the muzzle flip or the sound. They figured it all out that it's not that big of a deal, and that's one of the things that people have to get over. Is that it's a tiny little bullet with a little bit of gunpowder that's compressed into a barrel. That's why it has so much power, but you can control it. Anybody with any nominal athletic skill can control that thing and be in charge of the firearm. And that's what we want people to do, is be in charge of it. Don't let it run you. You run it. And we can teach people that in a short order in our Shoot 270 concept, in the private room concept.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's the great thing about the shooting sports is there are plenty of people that what's the word? I know handicap's not the right word, but they're other abled, or I can't come up with the word that I'm looking for. But they're people that may be wheelchair bound that are still able to compete, and they can shoot because they can use their arms, they can use their upper body, they can align the sights, press the triggers. Adaptive, that's the word I'm looking for. I know that there are some places that offer adaptive shooting courses, so that people that are in a wheelchair can still protect themselves.
Yes, and that we see it. We've had all kinds of different people come in. So you're exactly right. Yep. Our classes are really tailored one-on-one. We don't we have a template, but it's based upon a person's skill level. If you come in and you've already shot a bunch, we're not going to do grip stance and sight picture again. We're going to try to take you to multiple targets, low light shooting, lasers. That's the thing we can do in these rooms. We have the ability to turn the lights off. And all of a sudden, because people buy lights, weapon lights or lasers, and they never get to shoot them because they can't go in there and shoot in the dark. So it's really interesting what happens when you turn the lights off and you shine that light, you start shooting. There's a whole bunch of smoke that gets lit up, and it's really interesting because it does mess with your sight picture a little bit. It does mess with your ability to engage targets. It's because the light, kind of captures that smoke and it makes like a smoke screen. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the cool thing we can do in our ranges that is different. Is we really tailor it for what people are doing. Some people are just getting into red dot optics. That's a whole hot topic right now.
Oh yeah.
And we do red dot optic classes to get people. Here's how you want to mount that gun. Here's how you want to look for that optic. And because if you shot iron sights a lot and all of a sudden you go to the red dot optic, it's a little different. That's all. Once you get used to it, boom, you got it, because the red dots are faster. And we do offer our 10-day optics service where people send their slide to us, and we mill the slide, install an optic in 10 days or less, and return it back. So that's been very popular.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I hate to say trolling the Instagram recently, but I did see that you guys have been putting up some of your old videos, which to me it's like a flashback going back to see. To see the way we used to dress back then, and the way we carried, and products that people offered. I love it, man. It's like time travel. It's great.
Yeah, my son Derek is involved, and he's a little bit more internet agile or savvy, and he's running the marketing and the Instagram. And he said, "Hey, we got a whole bunch of content here. People are gonna love it." I thought, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah, they're gonna love it." And they are. They're loving it. It's funny. It's kind of comic relief sometimes. We've got a video on a pager pal. Who has a pager now?
Right. No one, yes, I saw that. And the pager.
So it's kind of funny. It's like you scratch your head. And some of the young kids will probably say, "What's a pager? What the hell?" So it's kind of funny.
The pager pal was really the precursor to like the urban carry, right?
Yeah, it was one of the the stealth holsters. We sold a ton of those back in the '80s when people had pagers. I mean,
Right.
it's but that again now everything's changed, and so hence. But it's fun to look back. I've got some fun stuff we did. We did underwater shooting. We did, every different gun. I mean, we shot through jackets. We did just a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah.
That I'm glad I did because I learned a lot too. That was the other thing is that whole video experience really, taught me a lot about firearms and just interviewing these top shooters and these gunsmiths all around the country really got me, immersed in the business in a way that I would not. It's like an education that I got paid for. It was really fantastic. It was the greatest thing I ever did in my life. And we still sell those videos, by the way. We do have a pay-per-view site on gunvideo.com. You can just watch them online. And then people still buy DVDs off Amazon, which is baffling, but they do. So
that's great. One of the videos that I saw was I thought it was recent, but it was, I guess, a year ago or so when someone broke into the store in Nashville, tried shooting it up.
Yeah, our security shutters were damaged at that point, and there was some security camera footage, and these three guys came in there, and they tried to shoot the glass out, and they missed a couple times, which is hard to do when it's a 8x4 piece of glass. But they eventually broke in, and it was kind of like Keystone Cops because there's nothing in the store. We strip all the guns out. Everything else is locked up. So they're running around looking for something, and it's like funny because it's like, oh wow, I came in here, the alarm's starting to go off, and the cops are going to be here any minute, and these guys are slipping and sliding over on the glass. It was kind of like I didn't really want to show it, but Derek said oh, people are going to love it, and they do. So it was funny.
That was pretty funny. I watched it a few times. It was great. Listen, last thing, if you got the time, is I love that some of the people I've had on the show are ahead of the curve, and like I said before, you've been ahead of the curve with all the videos and everything. How do people stay ahead of the curve? Like, how do they know when a new trend is coming?
Well, it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a blanket answer to that. I just know what I do. I just, follow what I like. I knew the red dot thing was coming, and I knew, that I was interested in it. I knew Glock was cool way back in the '80s. I said, oh, this is really awesome. This gun, they keep talking about a plastic gun and all this stuff, and so I thought, well, this is going to be really hot. And so I was really fascinated by it. And because of that, it just kind of snowballs. So I think, people just, follow their nose a little bit. That's all.
Yeah.
And you have to be in the business too. You have to be excited about it. You have to be involved with it. You have to be interested. And, if you are, that's going to be half the game, because you're going to be, pouring over magazines and talking to people and looking at stuff and looking at different ideas and, coming up with your own ideas based upon what you learn. So
very cool. Very cool. Well, listen, I know we got to cut it loose. I certainly want to respect your time. How can people find everything that you and the GLOCK Store are up to?
Well, of course, it is GLOCKStore.com. That's our big website. And every day, every week, we're putting new stuff up there. We have specials on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. We do a video release on Wednesdays and Fridays, I think. And then we have our Top Shot Tuesday, which is a really special thing. We do a one-day sale. So they come on to GLOCKStore.com and join the website, and we'll be able to help them get their email, and give us our email. We'll start sending them emails, and they'll get all kinds of specials and offers and other fun stuff. But we've got over 15,000 products available there, so there's a lot to look at.
That's incredible. That is awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I really appreciate your time, Lenny. And next time in Nashville, I am definitely going to come by and say hi and check out the GLOCK Store some more, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, Charlie. Thanks for calling.
All right. Thanks a lot. Take care.